The Discovery. The starship Celestial Horizon glided silently through the cosmic void, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Captain Arya Zhang stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display of an uncharted sector of space. The ship's mission was one of exploration and scientific discovery, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge in the vast expanse of the universe. "Captain, we're picking up an unusual signal," reported Lieutenant Kira Nasser, the ship's communications officer. Her fingers danced over the console, bringing up a visual representation of the signal. "It's unlike anything in our database." Captain Zhang leaned in, studying the pulsating waves on the screen. "Origin? A small planet in the Epsilon Eridani system," Kira replied. "It's not one we've surveyed before." The captain's interest was piqued. Unexpected signals often led to the most intriguing discoveries. "Plot a course, Lieutenant. Let's investigate." As the celestial horizon altered its trajectory, the crew buzzed with excitement. Dr. Elias Okoy, the ship's lead xenobiologist, joined the captain on the bridge. "What do you think we'll find, Arya?" he asked, his voice tinged with anticipation. "I've learned to expect the unexpected, old friend," Arya replied with a smile. "But whatever it is, I have a feeling it's going to be fascinating." The planet came into view as they approached, a swirling orb of blues and greens, reminiscent of Earth, but with unfamiliar landmasses and cloud patterns. Scans revealed a breathable atmosphere and gravity similar to their home world. "Prepare a landing party," Captain Zhang ordered. "Full environmental suits until we confirm it's safe. Dr. Okoy, you're with me." The shuttle descended through the alien atmosphere, buffeted by strong winds. As they broke through the cloud cover, a landscape of purple vegetation and crystalline formations came into view. The signal grew stronger as they approached a clearing near a range of jagged mountains. With a soft thud, the shuttle touched down. Captain Zhang led her team out onto the alien soil, their steps cautious but filled with wonder. The air shimmered with an iridescent quality, and the ground seemed to pulse with an inner light. "The signal's coming from those caves," Dr. Okoy said, pointing to a series of openings in the nearby mountainside. As they approached the caves, the team's sensors began to pick up signs of life. Faint, but unmistakable. "Captain," called out Ensign Tomas Rivera, the team's security officer. "I'm detecting movement inside." Arya nodded, her hand instinctively moving to her phaser. "Stay alert, everyone. Remember, we're here to observe and make peaceful contact if possible." The cave entrance loomed before them, its walls smooth and unnaturally geometric. As they ventured deeper, the signal grew stronger, pulsing in time with the bioluminescent veins that ran through the rock. Suddenly, a cry echoed through the cavern, a sound that was at once alien and heart-wrenchingly familiar. It was the unmistakable wail of an infant in distress. "Over here," Dr. Okoy called out, rushing towards a small alcove. What they found left them speechless. Curled up in a nest of shimmering fibers was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. It was small, no larger than a human baby, with iridescent scales that shifted colors like oil on water. Its eyes, large and luminous, fixed on the team with an intelligence that belied its apparent age. It's the baby," Ensign Rivera whispered, his voice filled with awe. Dr. Okoy knelt beside the creature, his scanner whirring. "It's malnourished and showing signs of distress, but its life signs are strong." Captain Zhang surveyed the cave, noting signs of habitation, but no indication of other creatures. Where are its parents, its people? As if in response to her question, the infant let out another cry, its scales flashing a deep blue. The sound tugged at something primal in Arya's heart. "We can't leave it here," she said, her decision made even as she spoke the words. "Dr. Okoy, can we safely transport it to the ship?" The doctor nodded, already preparing a containment field. "Yes, but we'll need to act quickly. Its physiology is complex, and I'll need time to study it properly." As they carefully lifted the alien infant, Arya knew they were crossing a line. Taking an alien life form aboard, especially one so young, violated numerous protocols. But as she looked into the creature's eyes, seeing fear, hope, and an unmistakable spark of sentience, she knew it was the right choice. Celestial Horizon, this is the captain, she spoke into her communicator. Prepare medbay for immediate alien life form containment and care, and alert Starfleet Command. We're bringing aboard an unusual passenger. As they made their way back to the shuttle, the infant cradled carefully in Dr. Okoye's arms, Arya couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery would change everything. The mysteries of this planet, the fate of this strange, beautiful creature, and the implications for human-alien relations weighed heavily on her mind. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of an adventure that would challenge her crew's compassion, push the boundaries of their scientific understanding, and potentially reshape the future of interstellar diplomacy. As the shuttle lifted off, leaving the enigmatic planet behind, Arya gazed down at their new ward. The infant's scales had shifted to a soft, calming green, its eyes drooping with exhaustion. "Welcome aboard, little one," she whispered. "Let's see what the stars have in store for us." The med bay of the Celestial Horizon hummed with activity as Dr. Elias Okoye and his team worked tirelessly to stabilize their unexpected passenger. Captain Arya Zhang stood at the observation window, her eyes fixed on the small, shimmering form lying in the specially designed containment unit. "How is it doing, Elias?" she asked as the doctor approached, his face etched with a mixture of exhaustion and excitement. Dr. Okoye ran a hand through his graying hair, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "It's remarkable, Arya. The infant's physiology is unlike anything we've ever encountered. Its cellular structure seems to be in a constant state of flux, adapting to its environment in real time." "Is it going to survive?" Arya's voice was tinged with concern. "I believe so," Elias nodded. "We've managed to synthesize a nutrient solution that its body is accepting, but there's something else you need to see." He led Arya to a console displaying a series of brain scans. "These neural patterns are incredibly complex. If I didn't know better, I'd say we're looking at the brain activity of a much older, more developed being." Arya leaned in, studying the swirling patterns of light and color. "What are you saying, Elias?" "I'm saying that this infant, whatever species it belongs to, is far more than just a baby. It's exceptional." As if on cue, a soft chime sounded from the containment unit. The infant had awoken, its large eyes blinking slowly as it took in its surroundings. Its scales rippled with a kaleidoscope of colors, settling into a warm, curious orange. "It seems to be responding to our presence," Dr. Okoye observed, making notes on his tablet. The color changes appear to be linked to its emotional state. Arya approached the containment unit, placing a hand gently on the transparent surface. The infant's gaze locked onto hers, and she felt a sudden, inexplicable connection. A wave of emotions washed over her: curiosity, fear, and a profound sense of loneliness. "Did you feel that?" she gasped, turning to Elias. The doctor's eyes were wide. "I did. It seems our little friend here might be telepathic." Over the next few weeks, the crew of the Celestial Horizon found themselves adapting to life with their extraordinary ward. The infant, whom they had taken to calling Nova, due to its star-like qualities, began to thrive under their care. Lieutenant Kiranasa took charge of creating a communication protocol, working tirelessly to decipher the meaning behind Nova's color changes and telepathic projections. Ensign Tomas Rivera, initially wary of the alien presence, became one of Nova's most dedicated caretakers, often spending his off-duty hours in the med bay, reading stories or simply talking to the infant. As Nova grew stronger, Dr. Okoye carefully expanded the containment field, allowing the infant more freedom to move and interact with its environment. The crew watched in amazement as Nova began to manipulate objects telekinetically, its powers growing stronger with each passing day. It's as if its abilities are evolving to meet its needs, Dr. Okoye explained during a staff meeting. When it was too weak to reach for food, it developed telekinesis. When it needed to communicate, it heightened its telepathic abilities. Captain Zhang nodded, her brow furrowed in thought. And what about its rapid growth? It's only been a month, but Nova looks like it's aged several years. Its metabolism is operating at an unprecedented rate, Elias confirmed. At this pace, it could reach full maturity within a year. The implications of this were not lost on the crew. They were witnessing the development of a potentially powerful alien species in real time. The scientific opportunities were enormous, but so were the ethical considerations. As Nova continued to grow and develop, so did the bond between the infant and the crew. It became common to see Nova floating serenely beside Captain Zhang on the bridge, its scales shimmering with quiet contentment. The telepathic link between Nova and the crew strengthened, allowing for rudimentary communication and a deep sense of mutual understanding. But their peaceful coexistence was not destined to last. 3 months into their journey with Nova, as the celestial horizon was en route to a starbase for resupply, alarms blared across the ship. Captain to the bridge. Lieutenant Nasser's voice crackled over the intercom, tension evident in her tone. Arya rushed to the bridge, Nova gliding swiftly beside her. As they entered, a massive ship shimmered into view on the main screen, its design unlike anything in the Federation database. They just decloaked off our port bow, Kira reported. They're hailing us. On screen, Arya ordered, straightening her uniform. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that took Arya's breath away. It was clearly of the same species as Nova, but fully grown. Its scales shimmered with a regal purple, and its eyes held wisdom that seemed ancient and unfathomable. I am Zephyr, elder of the Lumina, the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. You are something that belongs to us. Nova, floating beside Arya, let out a soft trill, its scales flickering rapidly through a series of colors. The elder's gaze softened as it regarded the infant. So, you have survived, little one. Zephyr's mental voice was tinged with what seemed like relief. We feared you lost when your transport was attacked. Arya stepped forward, her voice steady despite the turmoil of emotions she felt. I am Captain Arya Zhang of the Federation's starship Celestial Horizon. We found Nova, as we've come to call this child, abandoned and in distress. We've been caring for it as best we can. Zephyr's attention turned back to Arya, its gaze intense. And we thank you for that, Captain. But now it is time for the child to return to its people. There is much it must learn, much it must become. The implications of Zephyr's words hung heavy in the air. Arya felt a wave of protectiveness wash over her, mirrored in the emotions she sensed from her crew. They had come to see Nova as one of their own, a miraculous being they had nurtured and watched grow. The thought of giving the child up was heart-wrenching. But as she looked at Nova, seeing the recognition and longing in its eyes as it gazed at Zephyr, Arya knew what she had to do. This was Nova's heritage, Nova's future. We understand, Arya said, her voice thick with emotion. But please, allow us some time to say goodbye. Nova has become an important part of our crew, our family. Zephyr seemed to consider this for a moment before nodding. Very well. We will allow you one of your Earth days to prepare for the transfer. Use this time wisely, for there is much the child can still learn from you. As the transmission ended, Arya turned to her crew, seeing her own mix of joy and sorrow reflected in their faces. They had known this day might come, but none of them were truly prepared for it. Well, she said, forcing a smile, it looks like we have a goodbye party to plan. Let's make sure Nova's last day with us is one to remember. As the crew dispersed to make preparations, Arya felt a gentle touch on her mind. She looked down to see Nova gazing up at her, its scales a swirl of blue sadness and golden gratitude. You're welcome, little one, she whispered, kneeling down to Nova's level. And thank you. You've taught us more than you could ever know. The next 24 hours would be a whirlwind of emotions, memories, and final lessons. But for now, Aria simply sat with Nova, basking in the warmth of their shared connection, knowing that whatever the future held, their lives had been forever changed by this unexpected encounter among the stars. The observation lounge of the celestial horizon was awash with a soft, multicolored glow. Nova, the alien child they had rescued and nurtured, floated serenely at the center of the room, its scales pulsating with a mesmerizing array of hues. The crew gathered around, their faces a mixture of joy and sorrow as they prepared to bid farewell to their extraordinary ward. Captain Aria Zhang stood at the front, her voice steady despite the emotions threatening to overwhelm her. "We came together as a crew to explore the unknown, to seek out new life and new civilizations. Never did we imagine we'd become guardians to one of the most remarkable beings we've ever encountered." Nova's scales shimmered with a warm golden hue, reflecting the affection it felt for the assembled crew. Over the past day, each member had spent time with Nova, sharing final moments, imparting last bits of wisdom, and saying their goodbyes. Dr. Elias Okoy stepped forward, his eyes glistening. "In the short time you've been with us, Nova, you've revolutionized our understanding of xenobiology. Your ability to adapt, to evolve in real time, it's nothing short of miraculous." He placed a hand gently on Nova's shimmering form. "I can only imagine the wonders you'll achieve among your own people." Lieutenant Kira Nusser was next, her voice thick with emotion. "We've developed a rudimentary translation matrix based on your color patterns and telepathic projections. It's not much, but I hope it helps you remember us, and maybe it'll help foster understanding between our peoples in the future." One by one, the crew members shared their parting words. Ensign Tomas Rivera, who had become one of Nova's closest companions, could barely speak through his tears. He simply projected his emotions, a vibrant tapestry of love, gratitude, and hope for the future. As the gathering wound down, a soft chime alerted them to the approach of the Lumina vessel. It was time. Captain Zhang led the procession to the transporter room, Nova gliding gracefully beside her. As they entered, they found Elder Zephyr already waiting, having beamed aboard moments earlier. "Greetings, Captain Zhang." Zephyr's mental voice resonated in their minds. "We thank you once again for your care of our young one." Aria nodded, struggling to maintain her composure. "It has been our honor, Elder Zephyr. Nova has brought immeasurable joy and knowledge to our crew." Zephyr's gaze softened as it regarded Nova. "Young one, it is time to return home. Are you ready?" Nova's scales flickered through a rapid series of colors: excitement, apprehension, sadness, and finally, a resolute blue. It turned to Captain Zhang, projecting a complex swirl of emotions and images. Aria gasped, overwhelmed by the depth of Nova's communication. I think I understand," she said, turning to Zephyr. "Nova is grateful for the care we've provided, but it also feels a strong pull towards its heritage, towards the knowledge and abilities it has yet to discover." Zephyr nodded approvingly. "The young one shows wisdom beyond its years, no doubt a result of your influence, Captain." As Nova prepared to depart, it suddenly emitted a bright pulse of energy. The crew watched in awe as tendrils of luminescent energy extended from Nova, gently touching each of them in turn. In that moment, they felt a profound connection, not just to Nova, but to each other and to the vast, mysterious universe around them. "A parting gift," Zephyr explained, its mental voice tinged with reverence. "The young one has forged a bond between your crew that will never truly fade. It is a rare and precious thing." With a final dazzling display of color, Nova floated towards Zephyr. The elder enveloped the young one in a cocoon of shimmering energy, and together they dematerialized in a spectacular swirl of light. As the transporter room fell silent, the crew of the celestial horizon found themselves forever changed. They had touched the unknown, nurtured it, and in turn, been profoundly transformed by the experience. In the days that followed, As the celestial horizon resumed its mission of exploration, the effects of their time with Nova became increasingly apparent. The crew worked together with a newfound synergy, their minds somehow linked in subtle yet powerful ways. Scientific breakthroughs came more easily, as if Nova's gift had unlocked hidden potential within each of them. Captain Zhang stood on the bridge, gazing out at the star-studded expanse before them. She could feel the warm pulse of her crew's presence in the back of her mind, a constant reminder of the miraculous being they had nurtured and the cosmic connection they now shared. "Lieutenant Nasser," she called, a smile playing on her lips, any unusual signals on long-range sensors. Kira's fingers danced over her console, her movements more fluid and intuitive than ever before. "Nothing yet, Captain, but something tells me we won't have to wait long for our next adventure." Arya nodded, feeling a surge of anticipation ripple through the crew. "Well then, let's see what's out there." Helm set a course for the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Galaxy, maximum warp. As the celestial horizon leaped into warp, streaking across the cosmos, Arya couldn't help but wonder what Nova was experiencing now, among its own people. She sent a silent thought out into the universe, a mixture of gratitude and hope. Somewhere, in the vast expanse of space, she could almost swear she felt a response, a fleeting touch of iridescent scales against her mind, a promise of wonders yet to come. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. As the celestial horizon ventured into unknown space, its crew united by their shared experience and the lingering touch of Nova's gift, they carried with them a new understanding of the universe and their place within it. They had been entrusted with the care of a cosmic child, and in nurturing that child, they had grown themselves. The encounter with Nova and the Lumina had opened their eyes to possibilities they had never before imagined. It sparked a renewed sense of purpose in their mission of exploration and a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of all life in the cosmos. Captain Arya Zhang knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever new wonders or dangers they might encounter, her crew was ready. They had been touched by something truly extraordinary, and that experience would guide them as they continued to push the boundaries of known space. As the stars streaked by outside the viewscreen, Arya felt a sense of peace settle over her. They had said goodbye to Nova, but in a way, the young alien would always be with them, a shimmering reminder of the magic that awaited them among the stars. With a universe of possibilities stretching out before them, the crew of the celestial horizon set forth into the unknown, forever changed, forever connected, and forever grateful for the cosmic child who had, for a brief but miraculous time, called their ship home.